Parkside Cabin Rentals, affordable rustic luxury in the Smokies, chalets and log cabins, from intimate to grand, in town or in total seclusion. We can fit any need you have. Visit ParksideCabinRentals.com. Plan your vacation today.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control can help protect your home from animals, trapping and relocating wildlife, fixing the damage they cause, and preventing them from invading your home in the first place. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control and ask about our many services.
The following is a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.
Let's talk Tennessee football. This is the Sports Source Kickoff, presented by Parkside Cabin Rentals. Now, your host, John Pennington.
Good Saturday morning, good game day morning to you. Tennessee getting ready for Vanderbilt this afternoon. Huge game, huge game in terms of Tennessee and Vanderbilt, not much on the national scene, but those teams will be fighting for a bowl bid this afternoon. We'll get into all of that. As I mentioned, this show is brought to you by Parkside Cabin Rentals. Let me tell you about Parkside Cabin Rentals right now. You can check out their website because they practically offer it all, anything you could possibly want, from cozy cabins to cabins big enough for corporate retreats, like for 20, 30 people. Mountain views, hot tubs, fireplaces. If you want entertainment, they've got HD TVs, pool tables. Plus, you get free parking in downtown Gatlinburg whenever you go into the Gatlinburg area. Parkside Cabin Rentals, you see it there, all the stuff that they offer, including discounts to area attractions. We appreciate them for being a part of this show and bringing you this show all football season long. ParksideCabinRentals.com. Want to welcome in our panelists for the day. We have right here from WNML, both Josh Ward and Jimmy Himes. Thanks to both of you. And right down there, VFL LaMarcus Thompson back with us. Thanks for joining us.
Always.
All right. As I mentioned, the Volunteers facing Vandy today at 4 o'clock. Trip to the Liberty Bowl, more than likely, is what's at stake for Tennessee. We wondered about this last Sunday. Who would be the quarterback for the Volunteers? Well, judging by practice, judging by what we're hearing, it's going to be Jarrett Garantano. Garantano took what looked to be a pretty nasty lick last week. The CBS commentators seemed to take an interest in it. We discussed it on the show last week that it seemed concussion-esque. He certainly looked woozy and wobbly coming off the field. Sits over there the whole time with his hands on his head. Goes back into the game, comes out, and we haven't really heard much from officials over there about what happened, why he didn't come back in. So my question is, any lingering issues with the way that was handled Saturday, or with the fact that he's playing today, or maybe just the fact that it's kind of been swept away and nobody's talked about it? And any issues with this one?
Well, it was swept away, which I think was a big part of the goal.
I'm sure Tennessee was happy, yeah.
Yeah, John, that ended up happening. So I had a lot of questions Sunday and Monday, and I think a lot of people did. Tuesday, I was pretty surprised to see Jarrett Garantano out there fully involved in practice when the word was day-to-day. I thought that meant we'll see what happens over the next few days and see if he can get back out there and get cleared. But obviously that happened very soon. So questions still linger. I don't think any answers are coming.
I don't either, John. I wish I knew more. I wish I knew. I never heard them say head injury or concussion protocol. I've also heard Jeremy Pruitt mention, well, he's in protocol. Well, what other protocol is there? Previous situations, not this one. So I wish I knew more about it. I don't know if Tennessee didn't handle it well. It didn't look good. Yeah. But I don't know if they mishandled anything because I don't know what all went on. I don't know who examined him. I don't know who talked to him. I don't know what test results showed. It's hard to get information out of there now, and it's hard to get information now about anybody with the HIPAA rules that are out there in some cases. So I don't really know. But when Josh said on Tuesday in his practice report that he was out there practicing, that surprised me because I thought he would probably be sidelined for several days.
LaMarcus, your former player, you saw the hit. Your thoughts on what you saw and what went on?
Honestly, I was surprised because, coming from when I was there, the concussion protocol was very serious. I mean, we did tests. You had sat in front of a computer screen, you watched these lights, you saw your reactions, things of that nature. So, they normally take your helmet away and you're not playing football. So I was really, really shocked to how it was handled as far as nobody, was by him. Nobody took the helmet away. At least I don't think so.
They put him back out.
Yeah, they put him back out. And so it's shocking. Yeah. It really was shocking. But, I guess they know more than we know. So.
Yeah, and they're going to keep it that way, I think. So as long as we know that he is playing, that's about all we can say. It was an odd look for Tennessee. I think it got a little more attention nationally from some folks in terms of concussion people out there that run concussion websites and doctors more than it did locally from people grilling Jeremy Pruitt and crew, and that's what they want and that's what they got. So let's talk about Jarrett Garantano being in the game today. Huge lift for Tennessee. I mean, the fact that he's going to be out there is a big, big plus because when you look at the guy they're going against, in Kyle Shermer, he's put up points on Tennessee. So many points. Well, let me tell you this. In 3 games against Tennessee, he's thrown for 908 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You can tell me if you see it differently, but I don't picture this team really shutting him down all of a sudden after 3 good games against them. So I think Garantano being in there is a big thing. I think this is going to wind up being a shoot-'em-up. Your thoughts on Garantano playing, your thoughts on Shermer and trying to get the best of him?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd give Tennessee much of a chance to beat Vanderbilt if Garantano weren't going to be out there. And you still have the fear, can he stay out there? Because Keller Christ, I think, showed last week why Garantano has been the guy. And I thought Garantano's performance this season spoke to that, but I thought it was kind of backed up. But I think Tennessee's going to have to plan to score a lot of points today. You hope it's not 50. If you're in a position like last week, then it's going to be difficult to get there. But Tennessee better plan to have to score some points.
And to me, it's more than just about whether Garantano plays. It's whether he plays really well, because I think he'll have to. I mean, Shermer has more passing yards against Tennessee than Danny Werfel did. And Danny Werfel won a Heisman Trophy, all right? So that doesn't seem to add up. But it was 2 years ago he threw for 416 yards, and he was averaging about 166 going into the game. Last year he threw for 4 touchdown passes. So he's got Tennessee's number. He has played very well against Tennessee. If Garantano does play, he has to play extremely well, because I think that Tennessee's going to have to score well into the 30s to beat Vanderbilt.
I agree with Jimmy, but the question is which Garantano's going to show up? You know, are you going to see the Auburn Garantano or the Kentucky Garantano, or are you going to see the Charlotte Garantano? You know what I mean? Especially under the concussion protocol that we if he was on that,
yeah.
You know, you question about, you know, how is his mindset's going to be? You know what I mean? Is he going to be worried about that backside now? You see what I mean? So, you just have to see what happens.
Well, and the other thing, if he had a concussion last week, from the hits he's taken this year, now we're guessing, but I think most people out there would agree, that might not be the first concussion he's had this year. So the idea that he may start to hear footsteps, he's been a very tough character, and we've praised him for that all year.
Yeah.
But he has been knocked out of 3 games, even though he's tough. I mean, he gets hit with a Mack truck just about every week. At some point, he's been good about it so far, but you wonder, does he start to hear footsteps?
That was the most violent hit I've seen him take this year. And you can tell by his mindset, you know, when he went to the sideline. You haven't seen him sit on the sideline and put his hands on his head like he did. So,
the other big issue in today's game, or the big storyline, I guess, if Tennessee loses today, we all know this, folks at home have probably heard this by now, Tennessee loses today, it will be the first 3-game losing streak against Vanderbilt since the Commodores won 6 in a row in the 1920s. And it was that streak that coincided with General Nealon being hired to fix this program, to create a program actually and build it. It's been a century. We haven't seen Vanderbilt own Tennessee like this since the days of no electricity, since the days before most people had cars.
Since Prohibition.
Since Prohibition. I mean, before the Depression.
Yeah, there'll be some folks that are glad that Prohibition's gone if that happens.
Yeah, how big is this game for Jeremy Pruitt in terms of, we know how this has gone. We've seen it with previous coaches when they come in here. He's in his first year. That's the grace period, sort of, kind of. But it's kind of a sins of the father type thing. Fans are tired of being told to wait. Well, it's not Pruitt's fault that people have had to be patient. You can blame that on the end of the Fulmer era, the Kiffin era, the Dooley, Jones. If they lose another one to Vanderbilt, how much heat does he take for that? Or is it just a residual amount, or does everybody just look at the program and go, bah, not blame him? What happens?
I think he takes some. And I think it gets back to something that the word, I guess, you and Bob Hodge invented.
No, I invented it. Don't get Bob credit for that.
Okay, you invented it. Bob would just listen to you. What is
Anticipation. You build anticipation for something great, and then the disappointment's doubly hard.
And what will happen is some Tennessee fans will say, well, they were good enough to beat Auburn. They were good enough to beat Kentucky, 2 ranked teams. Why are you not good enough to beat Vanderbilt? And then the sting of you not going to a bowl and Vanderbilt going to a bowl, I think it would bother a lot of folks. And I think Jeremy Pruitt's built up a lot of goodwill. I think in many respects he's done a good job. But you lose that last one to Vanderbilt, and I think there'll be some fans that'll be upset about it.
LaMarcus is a former Vol over there. The Vanderbilt game, you suffered through a loss to Vandy, did you not, or did you always beat them?
Oh, no, I've never lost to Vanderbilt.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. You went through, who were your coaches while you were over there?
I started with Fulmer.
Then
Kiffin's first year, and I had Dooley's first year. So, I mean, luckily I haven't lost to Vanderbilt or Kentucky. So, I mean, those are two games that if you're a coach at Tennessee, you don't lose to Vanderbilt, you don't lose to Kentucky. I mean, that's just, as you can see, if you do that, you won't last long at the University of Tennessee. So, I mean, going into Pruitt's first year, you know, hopefully he can get over that hurdle. He already got Kentucky, so he has to get over that hurdle of Vanderbilt as well, keep that train rolling. So, we'll see. I don't know, you know, with firepower, like I said, with Vanderbilt's quarterback, things of that nature, that they can pull it off, but we'll see what happens. I don't know.
All right, very good. We're going to be joined in the next segment by Tyler White, professional handicapper from here in the area. He breaks down 3 different matchups for us. We're going to play over and under with some of the key areas that Tennessee's going to have to win this afternoon if they're going to win the game. Come on back, we'll discuss that on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Parkside Cabin Rentals.
Did you know English Mountain Spring Water has been named the world's best tasting water? That a French competition declared it a gourmet water? Did you know English Mountain Spring Water is bottled in Dandridge? And it's available for commercial and residential water service across East Tennessee. Clear, pure water with no aftertaste. From an East Tennessee source and a local company providing unmatched service. English Mountain Spring Water.
The Lodge at Five Oaks, conveniently located within walking distance to some of the area's best attractions, restaurants, and shops. Call now for special rates throughout the week or visit thelodgeat5oaks.com to plan your next getaway today.
Since 1971, Southeast Termite and Pest Control has offered free inspections, multiple pest control options, and guaranteed termite prevention and correction. Times have changed. Our service hasn't. Southeast Termite and Pest Control.
Under Tennessee law, you're entitled to money damages for injuries caused by the negligence of others. How much money often depends on the diligence, skill, and experience of your attorney. A Knoxville law firm has been helping injured people for more than 30 years.
At Bill Hodson Associates, we've collected millions of dollars from insurance companies that didn't want to treat injured people fairly. Is your case worth more than the insurance company says? Call Bill Hodson Associates and find out.
When it comes to your business, no one provides better security and life safety systems than Safety Systems. Protect your employees, your products, and your records with a single phone call. Professional technicians ready to design, install, and monitor your cutting-edge fire and security systems. Electric locks and surveillance cameras. Emergency and after-hours response and repairs. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and life safety systems.
Just 60 miles from Knoxville, adventure meets sanctuary at the historic Topoco Lodge. Originally opened in 1930, this renovated, reborn mountain retreat offers cozy, well-appointed rooms, cabins, and suites, waterfront dining, our warm signature service, and plenty of outdoor sports and activities, all within our riverside, creekside, and forest setting. Experience the historic Topoco Lodge, where adventure meets sanctuary.
Parkside Cabin Rentals, affordable, rustic luxury in the Smokies. Hot tubs, pool tables, fireplaces inside and out. Our cabins are perfect for relaxing or entertaining. Visit ParksideCabinRentals.com. Plan your vacation today.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Parkside Cabin Rentals. This segment of our program brought to you by English Mountain Spring Water. Voted the best tasting water in the world. Just think about that. That comes from Dandridge, Tennessee, right up the road. English Mountain Spring Water is available for commercial and residential service. They deliver the water to you. They keep the jugs super clean. They do the work. You just get the best water you've ever had in your life. Visit their website this week to learn more. EnglishMountainH2O.com. We appreciate them for being a part of our program each and every week. Look how delicious it looks. Okay. We now go over to our Visit 3 for the Money.win board. That's tough to say that. We're week 12, and I'm finally stumbling over that. Visit 3forthemoney.win because that is Tyler Wyatt's website. Tyler right there, he is a professional handicapper here in East Tennessee. People from all over the country pay him for his picks in just about every sport out there. So each week I beg him to come on here and give us 3 over-unders for key matchups in the game. 181.5 is the first one. What is that, Tyler?
It is rushing yards for Vanderbilt. In wins, they're averaging 215 yards per game. In losses, 135. Tennessee defensively giving up about 160 on the season. Vanderbilt average about 160. But when they play well, they run the ball effectively. Tennessee has struggled at times. We set that number at 181.5.
I'm going to go under. I think they'll get their yardage throwing. They may run for 150, 160. 181.5 seems high to me. I'm going to go under on that one.
I'm going to go under as well. It could get close. Keyshawn
Right.
Vaughn's really good. He's going to be a load for Tennessee today, but I'll say under the 181.
I'm just more scared of Kyle Shermer than I am.
I went under too, but not by much. I think Vaughn is really good. He's averaged 160 yards the last 3 games. It took him a while to figure out how good he was.
With a banged-up ankle. I mean, he's kind of had a nicked-up ankle, and he's still been going for 160 yards.
Yeah.
All
right, what are you doing?
I'm going to say under as well. You know, like I said, I definitely think that Vanderbilt's quarterback is going to air it out all day long. But hopefully, like I said, Tennessee's defense can, you know, try to figure something out.
I just think with young corners and not much of a pass rush, unless Darrell Taylor unless this is one of his days where he gets 3 sacks, I just see them making most of their hay through the air. Tyler, we all went in one direction. Are we going in the wrong direction?
You're going the wrong direction. Over 180. You mentioned Vaughn, very, very talented, 160 yards. I see him getting close to that. I think the rest of the team can at least get over 20 yards. Would put it over 181.5. So I'm going the opposite. Solo over.
Okay, how about that? What's number 2? 150.5.
Rushing yards for Tennessee. I don't think we have to spend a lot of time on the struggles Tennessee this season running the ball. A couple of games where we failed to break 60 and 70 yards. Vanderbilt is a train wreck defensively. Teams have run all over them, over 230 yards per game to Power 5 teams. If Tennessee can't run it against Vanderbilt today, we're in trouble. But we set this number at 150.5 because if Tennessee can run on anyone, it'll be Vanderbilt, and it's a very poor run defense.
I think I've heard that before. I'm going to let someone else start because I want to
start.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll go under. Tennessee couldn't run on Charlotte.
Okay. But they have the number 6 run defense in the country playing in the conference.
That's right. And they weren't a Power 5 school, so I guess I shouldn't. Here's the deal with Tennessee's run game. If the line shows up like it did against Kentucky, yes, but I can't count on that. And the offensive line was horrible against Missouri. It's been horrible in too many games. I'm going under.
All right, he goes under. What are you going to do, LaMarcus?
I'm going to say over. I think that the offensive line shows up because, like you said, you've seen spurts of the offensive line be physical, you know, come off the ball, push that line back. So I think they're going to have a little fire on a little chip on their shoulder this week.
Josh, where are you going?
I'm going to stay under because of my, at least, question going in about Ty Chandler's status.
Tweaked his knee this week, or he's got a tweaked knee. We don't know what that means. I mean, Jeremy Pruitt said before that, oh, he's fine, and guy doesn't play. So you don't know if, and I'm not talking about other players in the past season, earlier this year, not necessarily Chandler here, but it could apply to Chandler here.
Yeah, and if he is really good to go, then Tennessee can get to that number because he's the home run guy.
2 big runs from him, and you're halfway there or more.
But what Chandler and Jordan can do are going to be really important.
All right, so everybody else is going under. I'll go under as well because I just don't have enough faith that Chandler's going to be out there the entire game. And if he's not, they've moved Jeremy Banks back to defense, so you're left with Carlin Fields and me, Tim Jordan, Madre London. That doesn't smell like 150.5 yards to me. So I'll go under. Which way should we have gone, Tyler?
Up again. I'll be on this island by myself. If Ole Miss can run for nearly 130 yards, a team that relies on the pass, Tennessee can get to 150. If Chandler is healthy, I think it goes over easily. But I think Jordan could have a field day against Vanderbilt's run defense. So I do think it goes over pretty easily.
All right, there you go.
225.5. The last one, passing yards for Tennessee. A healthy JG would help Tennessee certainly get there, although Keller Chris looked pretty good at times last week. It's a Vanderbilt defense that has struggled. They've given up almost 460 yards of offense against Power 5 teams. It doesn't matter if you're running or throwing the football. 225 would be over Tennessee's average of 200 on the season. But it's a Vanderbilt defense. It's just not like most Derek Mason defenses, and it's that they're not very good. We set that number at 225.5.
I'll go first. If Garantano plays the whole game, I'll go, well, no, I'm not going to go. Yeah, well, I'll go over. if Garantano plays. But I'm caveating that. I'm going to cavalierize the question. If he doesn't play the whole game, I'm going under. But no, I'll take the over because I think that's what they're going to have to do against Kyle Shermer. I think it's going to have to be throwing up and down the field. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say they can throw it, since I've been Mr. Negative on the other two. You over or under?
I'm going to go over as well. If Chandler's involved here as well, that could really help. But he hasn't been the last few weeks, which is a question. But the wide receivers are going to have to win some contested battles out there on the outside. If they do that, I think they'll go over.
I got Tennessee going over in part because, one, I think they'll be playing some catch-up, and secondly, I don't think they'll run it that well.
Sure.
So it's a combination. And then if Garantano doesn't go the whole way, if Chris just has 2 series, because he's good for 2 series. Yeah. So if he has 2 series, then that'll be okay. I think they'll go over.
Marcus, they're going over or under?
I'm going to say over, just because I've seen those wide receivers win so many 50-50 balls. Those guys are definitely playing on a high level. So throw it up and see what happens. That's what I feel like.
All right. Is Tyler White going to go opposite us again?
Of course.
No, I'll join you. Juwan Jennings, big day. I do think Jarrett has a successful day. If he plays all 4 quarters, I think it goes over easily. But I do expect Tennessee to throw the ball fairly effectively.
Okay, very good. When we come back on the show, we're going to tell you Tennessee will win if. We fill in the if. We'll tell you what that blank is, how Tennessee can win this game against Vanderbilt. That's next on the Sports Source Kickoff presented by Parkside Cabin Rentals.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control can help protect your home from animals, trapping and relocating wildlife, fixing the damage they cause, and preventing them from invading your home in the first place. Call Southeast Termite and Pest Control and ask about our many services.
The Lodge at Five Oaks, conveniently located within walking distance to some of the area's best attractions, restaurants, and shops. Call now for special rates throughout the week or visit thelodgeat5oaks.com to plan your next getaway today.
Just 60 miles from Knoxville, adventure meets sanctuary at the historic Topoco Lodge, featuring the Topoco Tavern with comfortable seating inside or riverside for lunch and dinner, expanded patio dining, private rooms for events, drinks on the observation deck, and at our multiple bars. Try the Carolina Mountain Trout, a Black Angus choice ribeye, or build your own hand-tossed pizza. Experience the Topoco Tavern at the historic Topoco Lodge.
When it comes to your home, no one provides better security and audio-video systems than Safety Systems. Control everything using your tablet or smartphone, whether it's a hidden TV or the temperature in your home. Lighting, doors that open and close, lock and unlock, cameras that allow you to watch your home from wherever you may be, all at the touch of a button. Trust Safety Systems, East Tennessee's leader in security and audio-video systems.
Under Tennessee law, you're entitled to money damages for injuries caused by the negligence of others. How much money often depends on the diligence, skill, and experience of your attorney. A Knoxville law firm has been helping injured people for more than 30 years.
At Bill Hudson Associates, we've collected millions of dollars from insurance companies that didn't want to treat people fairly. Have you been hurt in a car wreck? Are you being treated fairly? Call us and find out.
Experience you can trust.
Did you know English Mountain Spring Water has been named the world's best tasting water? That a French competition declared it a gourmet water? Did you know English Mountain Spring Water is bottled in Dandridge? And it's available for commercial and residential water service across East Tennessee. Clear, pure water with no aftertaste. From an East Tennessee source and a local company providing unmatched service. English Mountain Spring Water.
Southeast Termite and Pest Control is locally owned, locally operated, handling thousands of commercial and residential jobs all across East Tennessee. Protect your home with a free inspection and estimate from Southeast Termite and Pest Control.
Welcome back into the Sports Source Kickoff. This segment of our show brought to you by Bill Hodson Associates. Car accidents are serious business. If you happen to be injured in an accident, especially by a careless driver, you need serious, proven attorneys to help you recoup the wages you might lose from time out of work, money spent on medical bills. Call the team that I would call if I were in that situation. That is Bill Hotz and Associates. They've been doing it for 3 decades. They've been doing it well for 3 decades. Bill Hotz and Associates. Want to remind you that tomorrow at 11 o'clock over on WATE 6, we will be doing the Sports Source as usual. It's going to be a big breakdown of Pruitt's first season. So we'll not only be talking about the Tennessee Vandy outcome, we may be talking about Liberty Bowl berth, or either way, we'll be talking about sort of the verdict on year one of the Pruitt era. That is tomorrow at 11 o'clock on Channel 6. Okay, Tyler, I want to thank you for being with us all year. Let me stay here on the wide shot just for a second. I want to remind people we're going to be here the next 2 weeks. Next week, it's going to be a look back at the season, and we're going to start looking forward to the early signing period. And then in 2 weeks, 2 Saturdays from now, it's going to be all recruiting that day. So we kind of twist our focus over the next couple of weeks to look toward recruiting. So we'll be here for the next 2 weeks. But I want to thank Tyler Wyatt, who's been with us for all of our game day shows. Good job this year. Thank you very much. And
thank you for having me.
Once again, folks need to check out 3forthemoney.win because you are doing sports year-round. Football,
Absolutely.
Basketball, you name it. All right. What have you got in terms of the line and what you would do with said line at your website?
Right now, Tennessee opened the week at 3.5, or Vanderbilt opened the week 3.5-point favorites. We've not seen a lot of action either way. A little more money bet on Tennessee, more tickets right now on Vanderbilt. I spoke with Matthew Holt, CG Technology, said it's just not getting a lot of action, and it's probably for a lot of reasons. We don't know really much about Tennessee. They could be really good or really bad. Same with Vanderbilt. Right now, that number is 3 at most books. You can shop and get a hook, which is a big one, but we'll call it 3. Total in the game, 51. Expecting teams to move the football, a 28-24 type of football game. Tennessee money line right now, plus 150. You get $150 for every $100 bet. Tennessee wins this game outright. They do get to a bowl, and I think that will appease a lot of East Tennessee and Vol Nation. But I do think Tennessee money line plus the 150 is absolutely the play.
Well, there you go. Tyler Wyatt goes all in the last game of the year. Thanks, Tyler. We appreciate it. Tennessee will win if. That's our prediction segment. Who wants to start? Who wants to give me their reasons that Tennessee will win?
I got you.
LaMarcus, go right ahead.
Jarrett Garantano. It depends on which Jarrett shows up. Like I said, if he's in 100% health, in good shape, I think they win. If he's playing sound football, making his throws, making smart decisions. That's the biggest thing that Jarrett, suffers from sometimes, making the right decisions and holding on to the ball a little bit. If he plays a solid game, I think Tennessee can win the football game.
All right, got about a minute, Jimmy.
A lot of times we talk about turnovers, and I think that's going to be a key. And with Tennessee, I think it's almost a given. They got to win the turnover battle. So then it becomes, is it by 1, 2, or 3? Against Auburn, it was 3,
yeah,
right?
3.
I'm going to go with 2 on Vanderbilt. The other thing that I think is a big consideration is how does Tennessee do on third down efficiency? They were poor against Missouri, either converting or stopping. And I think that reflected in the score, reflected in the time of possession. I think Tennessee's got to do a much better job on third downs. Both ways.
All right, Josh Wood, I'll give you a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say third down, Tennessee winning that battle. And I say that for a number of reasons. I think that can cover a few areas that matter here. If Tennessee is doing well on offense, they're extending drives, they're keeping the defense off the field more likely, and probably putting up some points on the board if they're able to continue to extend drives. 20% on third down last week just wasn't close to being good enough. And then on the other side, of course, you're getting Kyle Shermer and company off the field. You've got to get stops. The defense has played a lot of football this year. Those guys up front, get them off the field.
All right, very good. Mine, Garantano and the receivers have to have a big day. When you look back just at the numbers, Tennessee versus Power 5 teams this year, Garantano had at least a 170, that's a high rating, a good 170 quarterback rating just twice all year, Auburn and Kentucky. Tennessee averaged 9.9 yards per attempt in just 2 games this year. That's a huge number, Auburn and Kentucky. Tennessee had 5 touchdown passes on the year of 25 yards or longer. 3 of them, Auburn and Kentucky. They better play like Auburn and Kentucky like they did in that game, in those games. They need to do that this afternoon on offense. Thanks to all these guys for being with us. Thanks to Tyler Wyatt. Enjoy the game this afternoon. And actually, I've got a minute here. We got a full minute to dance around. I'm looking at my cards wrong, so we're good. We're good. In terms of predictions, I was going to cut out of predictions. Which way are you going?
I'm going to go with Tennessee. I can't give you too many reasons why, other than I said at the beginning.
Just a homer?
Yeah, that's the biggest reason why.
Just a big old homer?
Yeah, because the hashtag GBO. I said 6-6 at the beginning of the year. They're 5-6. I'll stick with my preseason prediction.
Okay, Jimmy.
I got Tennessee losing.
Wow, kind of a psych to the audience there.
I think it's going to be high scoring. I've got around 34-30, 34-27. I think there'll be a lot of points. I think Vanderbilt gets a win.
I'm going to take Tennessee winning. Like I said, I think that Jarrett shows up. I think the defense starts to play well. Like I said, you've seen spurts all year of them playing good. So I think they put it all together and get to a bowl game.
All right, very good. I'll be with Jimmy. I'll take Tennessee to lose. We'll do it backwards. I'll take Tennessee to lose in a close one. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. We'll see how that works out. Sorry for the stumble there in the middle, but hey, it worked out. That was 10 extra seconds that I was able to lock off the show. We will see you next Sunday, tomorrow, on WATE, and next Saturday right back here on Fox 43.
This has been a presentation of Fox 43 Sports.